Anybody want to get their coins right today? You want to know, how do you make some money and how do you make some passive income?
Welcome to the dFree Financial Freedom Movement and our FinFEST event, which is now online. We've had live FinFEST, we've had online FinFEST, and we've had both. This FinFEST is really short for Financial Festival, where we're attempting to help people learn how to make more money, manage money better, and invest their money. And it's fun. That's why we call it FEST. It's fun, and sometimes it's funny because our financial situations can sometimes be less than funny, if not depressing. And this FinFEST is no different. We've had some marvelous presenters. If this is your first viewing of a FinFEST presentation, I would urge you to look at the other options. They're not too long. And consider the fact that each one has a very special kind of advice that might reach you in ways that no other presentation did. Today, this presentation is just so motivational and so informational that I can't tell you enough about how much I admire the presenter, because she not only has overcome adversity, but she really has introduced us to the idea that even a good job is not likely to lead to real wealth, and that if we want to develop wealth, we need a good job, but we also need what some people call a side hustle, but which is better understood as passive income. In other words, if I spend all of my life working for money and at no point make money work for me, I might do okay, but I may not maximize the possibility of creating the kind of wealth that I have the potential to create. And so Sherkera Green has a good job, but she also has some side activities that are important for you to learn. On top of that, she has introduced her children to making money while they're children in ways that I think will inspire and impress you. So go ahead and share. If you have friends, if you have your own account, share what you're about to see so that your network can see the same content. Like it, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and take out your pen and paper so that you can take notes as this presentation about overcoming adversity and achieving financial success comes from Ms. Sherkera Green.
Let's give a round of applause to dFree and the FinFEST team. It takes a lot to put something like this together, and to whom much is given, much is required. So I understand that. And then I want you to give yourself a round of applause. It takes a lot of courage to come out. I don't know about you guys, but I was comfy in my bed this morning, was like, ooh, but we push forward and we go through, because it was important for me to be here to share with all of you. So come forward a little bit. If a few of you want to move forward, feel free to. I want to make sure that we're connecting. So I'm here to talk to you today about how do we get our coins right. Anybody want to get their coins right today? All right, so repeat after me. Get your coins right. All right, so I'm going to share a little bit about my personal story and who I am. But I really want to teach you today about what I do and the how. To me, the how is so important, right? Because you guys didn't just come here to hear about Sherkera Green. You want to know, how do you make some money and how do you make some passive income? All right, so as you know, I've been in banking for over 18 years. I started off similar to Ash Cash as a teller, worked my way up into banking, and I love what I do. I love what my team and I do. We help our customers build, protect, and grow their assets. But as much as I love the firm that I work for, I can't leave them to my 2 baby girls. So I started thinking about what are some ways that I can take this income that I have and this annual bonus that I'm provided and start to generate some other passive income so that I can build wealth. All right, I'm from Jersey City, but I'm deeply rooted in Newark. My team, I used to actually run Essex County, so I'm very familiar and very connected. Mr. John Harmon, I see you over there. Good mentor, done a lot of things with him in the community. Awesome guy. So let's talk about money today. I want to talk to you a little about what does money mean to you? Can anybody answer that question for me? Freedom, financial freedom. What else? I'm sorry? Choices. What kind of choices? What you could do in life, where you go, travel, building a business. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. I want to share some statistics because there's a lot of statistics that people don't know about as it pertains to money. I'm going to share some tips of how to be successful, how to get started. We're going to talk about not just having goals, but are your goals smart? And what does smart mean? And then I'm going to share some of my personal tips and things that I do to generate extra income and how you can start investing. So someone said money. Money means to them the ability to quit your job, maybe start the career that you really want to do, start the business that you're passionate about. Money could mean it's the future for our children, right? As I mentioned, I have 2 little girls, and I want them to have experiences that they could never even dream of. It's taking that trip across the world. For some people, money is a positive way to impact on the world, right? So money is basically a tool and how you use that tool can take you through that vehicle to get to your personal goals. So I love that. So what is your relationship with your finances, right? My grandmother, she was from the South and migrated to Jersey City. And my grandmother used to have this saying, and she would say, wherever you go, you better look your best, because what? You represent me. I didn't know that she was teaching me very early on that stuck in my mind. So every time I had a job interview, I was running to the mall. Every time I had a date, I was running to the mall. Every time I had an event, I was running to the mall, but I didn't see how that stuck with me and how that was translating into my finances, right? And so I had to be honest with myself, and I really had to think about what it is that I want to do, what kind of lifestyle I want to have, and how I need to make some changes, how I need to be honest with myself. So in order to do that, you have to complete a self-assessment. And the way you complete a self-assessment is really, really simple. I want you to write this down. You're going to go home tonight or tomorrow, and you're going to take a piece of paper, and you're going to fold it in half. And on the left side, you're going to write all of your finances that you have. Okay? And then on the right side, you're going to write, what are some of your goals? And I want you to assess each line, starting from the most important, or the most expensive itemized item that you have in your budget, which is typically your mortgage or your rent, and then just go down item by item, okay? Start doing a self-assessment to see, where is my money? If it's not on paper and you don't see it, then sometimes you're not realizing how much money is coming in, but also how much money is going out, and you're not saving enough. You're not paying yourself first. So what are some things that we need to stop, start, or continue? That's what's also you're going to document on that paper, all right? All right, so understanding money, as I said, and as Ash also talked about, we got to shift our mindset. How many of you would believe if I told you all of you are millionaires? Does anybody believe me? Show of hands. A few. But everybody should have their hand up, because the truth is we're all millionaires. We're all in a predicament to make money and to become a millionaire, a billionaire one day, right? So shifting our mindset, making some sacrifices. What do I need to stop doing? Maybe I need to stop brunching. Maybe it's my shopping. What are my habits? Breaking those negative habits, but also having the courage. So in a minute, I'm going to talk to you about some short-term rentals and Airbnbs that I have. And I actually just started them a year ago. Had I had the courage to start years ago, I would have way much more money, right? But sometimes it's just having the courage to get up and start. Sometimes you're going to be the first one in your family to do it. I'm the first in mine to do many things. So you got to have the courage. And then I want you to think about, what does your legacy look like? I'm no longer working for my resume. I'm working for my eulogy. And that's, what do I want people to say about me when I'm no longer here? And it's, did I make impact on my family? Did I make impact on my 2 girls, on my children? But also, did I teach my community how to do it? Because it's not just about you, right? It's about, how do you help others? So I mentioned I have 2 daughters, Kayla and Leah. One just turned 16 last week, and I had the pleasure to take her to Paris for her birthday, Really surprised her. Thank you. And then the other one is 13 going on 30. Need I not say anybody? A few of you have teenagers in here, so you know what I'm going through, right? But about 2015, I found myself going through a life-changing event. I'm not sure, has anybody ever heard of it? It's called a divorce. Anybody? Yeah. So I found myself going through this divorce because he was who I chose. He wasn't who God chose for me. And I realized, what am I going to do with these two little girls here, and what legacy am I going to leave them, right? Because now that person that I was supposed to do life with was no longer here, but life still goes on, and I had to pick myself up and keep going. So I made a conscious decision that I was going to start investing. And in 2016, I already owned my property, but I purchased some investment properties, and I now have 8. And I'm going to teach you how to get started with getting your own investment properties. Okay? All right, so emotional connection. I want to share some statistics with you because this is super important. These numbers and statistics are after the pandemic. So 90% of Americans say that they live paycheck to paycheck. 90% of Americans are saying that they live paycheck to paycheck. 62% of Americans say that if they had an emergency, they could not get access to $400 cash. Money is tied to stress, depression, right? We're always talking about mental health. I know October is breast cancer awareness. All of these things, 35% of Americans say that they are embarrassed to admit that they have credit card debt, that their credit cards are maxed out. Anxiety, 29% say that the anxiety that they have is directly tied to their finances. Right? So this is why this is such an important topic. This is why we're here today, to educate you, because we don't want you stressed out. We want you living a long, healthy, happy life and doing all the things that you desire to do and enjoy. All right? So what matters and how can you accomplish it? These are some key things in banking that we always talk about. It all starts with budgeting, and all of you are at different stages. So you may be at the stage where you need to look at your budgeting, and you may need to look at your savings. Some of us need to create a financial calendar. Maybe you're making enough money, but you're just not organized. Organization is so important in that you're using the certain tools that are out there to help you stay organized. It's not that you can't make that minimum payment, but you're just like, oh, damn, it was the 15th of the month. It's the 16th. Now I'm late. Now I'm incurring a fee. Just get a little bit more organized. Create a financial calendar. For some of us, we got to fix our credit. And I use credit to help me reach some of my other goals, which we'll talk about shortly, right? So the next thing is retirement. Some of us are at the age where we're thinking about, what does my retirement look like? We can't just depend on Social Security because Social Security won't be there. You got to generate your own income. The next one is investing, which I really, really want to teach you today around how I leverage investing into insurance policies. All right, so you guys with me? You still with me? Say, get your coins right. All right. So during the pandemic, we learned a lot about ourselves, right? We couldn't go get our hair done. We couldn't do a lot. We were stuck in the house, right? So instead of calling it a pandemic, I started creating my plandemic. And what was I needed to do to change? That was an opportunity of a lifetime that we'll probably never see again, those interest rates, right? And so I started thinking about my goals differently. Are they smart? When you create a goal, is it specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely? I want you to write that down. Is your goal smart? Is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it attainable? Is it realistic? And is it timely? I could say I want to save $20,000 for a down payment for a house. That sounds good. That's a great goal. But how am I going to do it? Am I going to put away $2,000 a month? Am I going to do $500 every week? You got to be specific, and it has to be realistic, right? So now if I say I have a goal to save $1,000 a month, That seems a little bit more realistic, right? It depends on how I'm gonna do that. So, and then what's the time frame? Weekly, bi-weekly, monthly? So that's an example of how you make each of your goals SMART. All right, so talking about generating some passive income. There's many different ways that you could create passive income. What is your gift? How many of you know that you have gifts inside of you? What's your gift right here in the front row? Fun fitness to the community. I need her. I would pay you as a trainer. Do you train people? Awesome, awesome. Who else wants to share? Go ahead. Beautiful. Come on, come on. She helps Black women get out of debt in survival mode so we could start thriving. I love that. Let me get one more. A couple more. Go ahead. Fashion designer. Awesome. You know how many women in corporate needs fashion designers to teach us how to dress, prepare us for these meetings and conferences? That's a gift right there. Go for it. Speaker, motivational speaker. There's so many topics. There's so many ways to generate other income. Here's some examples that I put here. Rental income. You can create rental income by having long-term tenants or short-term tenants. And I capitalize on both strategies. You could do peer-to-peer lending. It's some folks that got bad credit. Start with your community. Start with your circle of influence. If you got $10,000 in the bank, lend somebody $1,000, charge them $1,250. You done made $250 of extra income. Flipping retail products. You got stuff in your house that you have not used in how long? 10, 15, 20 years. Put that stuff on Facebook Marketplace. You will be surprised. People will buy it. It will generate extra income. Dividends, stocks, create an app. Vending machines. I got tired of my daughters asking me for money. So I went out and I purchased a vending machine. The vending machine generates $600 a month. I pay someone to maintenance it. They take 10%. The difference splits it and goes into both of their account. They each make like $200, $250 a month. So now when they say, Mommy, I want to go to the mall. Mommy, can I have those Jordans? It's not coming out of my money. It's money that I'm generating from the vending machine. Make sense? All right. Buying, selling domains. Did you know that? So if I created a business, let's say it's Sherkera Green LLC. I just went and created an LLC, but I never bought the domain to my business. You can purchase that domain and call me and say, hey, Mrs. Green, I see that you own Sherkera Green LLC. I actually own SherkeraGreenLLC.com, and I'll charge you $200 to sell you your domain. There's people that do this, and they just make $200, $500, $1,000 a day by sitting in their house all day. All right, so real estate. So I want to share because I'm a numbers girl, and the numbers matter to me. So in 2016, remember I said it early in my story, I purchased my first real investment property, not my owner-occupied investment property. Think outside the box. So I purchased it for $100,000. I went down North Carolina to see my aunt. She introduced me to a contractor who actually built her house. And he took me out, saw some land, saw a new development that he had. This property was $100,000 built from the ground up. I put a down payment of $3,500. If I used his lender, there were no closing costs, okay? Monthly payment, $497. Additional fees, which is like homeowners insurance fees. So that's my monthly payment. And as you can see there, I have a tenant. This is in Greensboro, North Carolina, the first one. That generates about $850 of income for me for 1 month. Multiply that by 12, I'm over $10,000 for the year. But that's on one property. So what you guys thought I started doing? Let me get more. I was like, oh, okay, instead of buying a Chanel bag, instead of buying these shoes I like, let me put this money to the side and get another property. And so that's what I started doing. Now, is $850 a month making me rich? No, it maybe offsets my car note, a bill or two. What I am more concerned about is what that property appreciates in value. So now, as you can see, in 2003, if I was to sell it, I could sell it for $250,000. That's what it's worth today. I only owe $88,000 because I've been paying on it. That's my net equity, $162,000 on this one particular house. Okay, so now I can either take that money out, purchase another house, start a business, invest it in the stock market. The options are unlimited. I haven't touched it because it's not really a need right now, but I wanted you to see this because, again, the numbers matter. And this is how I teach you how to do it. So I started taking one, and then I bought more, and then I bought more. And so as you can see now, the type of income that I'm generating. What questions do we have, if any? We're good? We're still with me? All right. So now, short-term rentals. My partner and I, we actually have 5 Airbnbs right here in Newark that we do not own. These are outside of the properties that he and I own. And so what I decided to do was try a route called arbitrage. Arbitrage is where you go to a landlord and you say, hey, my name is Sherkera Green. I own Green Properties, LLC, and I would like the opportunity to take a few of your units that are available. Rentals. The rent on them are $2,300, and they allow me to sublease and lease it out to other people. We put it on multiple platforms, Airbnb, Booking.com, you name it, Hotels.com. I'm on several different sites. And people pay me by night. I charge by night. So on the average, if I was to rent it out for $180 at 25 nights, it's 30 nights in a month. After all of my expenses, I generate $2,000. That's just off of one unit. Multiply that by 5, I'm generating $10,000 a month just off my short-term rentals. Make sense? You can do this. You can do this. And so I want to teach other people how to do this. I do have a team, cleaners come in, everything runs itself, and everything is also done through technology. So again, I mentioned I have a day job. I'm super busy. We do all of this by still working our full-time jobs, which is key and important. So now, I don't just take this money, and yeah, we do some shopping, we do some traveling, as you know, but what I'm more interested in doing is now getting whole life insurance policies, okay? So where my premium may be $500 a month with my insurance policies, it builds cash value in each of these insurance policies, and we structure them out to be able to take cash out of my insurance policies. Does that make sense? It's not about the death benefit. I'm using it as an investment vehicle to build wealth and to build legacy for my daughters. Are you guys with me? Okay. So I could afford the $500 premium because what? My other properties are generating income, so that's not coming out of my pocket. This is how Walt Disney built Disneyland. He took money out of his insurance policies and went and bought all that land that was in Orlando that no one was using and built Disneyland. You can Google, you can find this information out. There's also no limit to how many insurance policies you can purchase. As long as you could afford the premium, you can have as many insurance policies as you like. I put some in my daughter's name because to what Mr. John Harmon said earlier, the premiums are cheaper being on the age of the actual policyholder. So my daughters are 13 and 15. Their policy, the premiums for them is going to be cheaper than the premiums are for myself. Make sense? And so that is how some of the ways that I built generational wealth. So executing your plan now. Have you created a budget? Have you created a savings? Are you leveraging different tools, direct deposit? Find ways to save money, to take that money and make more money. Are you utilizing different digital platform tools? So with the Airbnb, some of the digital tools that we use, it actually does the pricing for us on a daily basis. It tells me if it's a concert at Prudential that, look, Lauryn Hill is going to be here next weekend, and you're only advertising at $180 a night. You really should be charging $400 or $500. That tool does the pricing for us. Once someone books with me, it automatically gives my cleaners an alert, and it goes on their calendar so that they know what days to come and clean my business. So everything is automated through technology, all right? All right, so what's next? The only thing is next is for you to be bold and go out there and do it. So I want to give you my contact information. So if you could take out your phone, I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook. IAM_Shakira, SHERKERA, last name Green. You could follow me if anyone wants to do a one-on-one consultation. I don't charge. This is my way of giving back to my community. So just reach out to me, okay?
Thanks to Sherkera Green for that marvelous and inspiring presentation. One of the things that she reminded me is that as many degrees as I have, I've been to college, I've been to another college, I went to another college, I've read books, I've got my personal library. But the reality is I needed to speak to a financial professional. She talked about getting advice from a financial professional before I could really create the strategy that I needed and that suited my goals to arrive at my financial destiny. And so I would urge you, listen, you don't need a lot of money to talk to a financial professional. In fact, you may never have enough money if you don't talk to a financial professional. And so if you need to talk to a professional, that's exactly why our partnership with Prudential is so important. Listen, Prudential doesn't need us. Prudential's a $1 trillion company, but they've partnered with us because they recognize the need that we have and the need that they have to connect more financial professionals to normal, everyday people like Sherkera Green was. And so I'd like you to subscribe not only to our station, but go to dFree.com, that's our website, and you can be connected to a financial professional if you simply click the Get Help tab on our website. Thank you for joining us. This is a very exciting series. Thank you to all of our presenters. Don't go anywhere. Click next to see our next presentation. And if you do go somewhere, come back real soon and make sure you tell your friends to join you at the dFree Financial Freedom Movement FinFest celebration.